Sage, I would like it if you retracted that statement, because if you are going to come in right away and say there's no dang news, is there? You're going to make yourself publicly look like a goddamn idiot. So, do you want to be remembered as someone that looks like a goddamn idiot? Delete your message. Otherwise, I will delete the message for you. How does that sound? Do you want your message deleted, Sage? I'll fucking delete it. I don't give a shit. Don't delete it, Sage. Type in another message to offset it. The chat rate is now 0. It says message retracted. Sage, I was just making a joke. All right, Sage. Sage believes that there's news. Apparently, a bot must have hacked him and then retracted a statement. He had no idea. I believe he had no idea that had occurred there. All right. Well, there is actually quite a bit of tidbits to go over. Tidbits, not Timbits, so don't get too excited, Sage. We're going to go over the first news of the day, which is the Toronto Blue Jays making a trade with the Houston Astros. They have landed the Holy Lord. Jesus Sanchez is coming to Toronto in exchange for Joey Loperfido, who's going to the Houston Astros. And at first I was like, I don't really know anything about, this other guy coming in, Jesus Sanchez. Then I got to reading, and I got to see, oh, Christ almighty, Jesus Sanchez! Oh, that was a hell of a sneeze. Oh, I felt that one right in my goddamn loins. Oh, sorry. Christ almighty, that one came out of nowhere. Holy shit. Like I said, basically swapping two outfielders with each other. Thank you for blessing me, by the way, Sage. I actually think that Jesus Sanchez has also blessed me a bit here today as well. So what are we getting in this player? So a lot of people in Toronto are probably very sad right now that Joey Loperfido has been on the move. Well, here's the facts about Joey Loperfido. He's got a 689 career OPS. Fact. Can't argue facts. Career on-base percentage of 297. Has not really shown an ability to hit for power. He's turning 27. Not sure if I mentioned that. And has a career 711 OPS against right-handed bats. Now, the Jays are buying low on Jesus Sanchez. He only had a 699 OPS last year. Has a 727 OPS for his career. Has had seasons in which he's hit, basically, I'll just read through, it's pretty consistent. 14 home runs, 13 home runs, 14 home runs, 18 home runs, and 14 home runs. So he does have a little bit of pop in his bat. He is a year older than Joey Loperfido. He is getting paid more. So he's making $6.8 million this year coming up. So that was, I believe, a big reason why Houston wanted to get rid of him. Puts him below the luxury tax there. And then they do get Loperfido, who is going to compete for a starting outfield job. I think Loperfido is more of a fourth or a fifth outfielder. Now, the one downside with Jesus Sanchez is that there's no options. So unlike Joey Loperfido, where, you can send him down to the minor leagues, if you send Jesus Sanchez there, he would be, claimed by somebody. Now, when you look at Jesus Sanchez's numbers, other than the home run numbers, you got a 699 OPS last year. That's not very good. Let's be straight with you. It's not very good. He had 451 at-bats. For his career, he's got a 727 OPS. Now, what does Jesus Sanchez do very well? Well, he certainly does not hit lefties well. For his career, because he is a left-handed at bat, he's only hitting left-handers to a tune of a 520 OPS. So when there's a left-hander on the mound, you're not going to see this guy starting. But for his career, he's a 774 OPS, which isn't really that bad. He's got a little bit of speed, and obviously his power is going to be better, against the righties than the lefties. Good news for Jesus Sanchez. There's more righties in the league than lefties, so there shall be plenty of plenty of at bats for him to get. I'd say around 400. I'd probably have him take less at bats than he took last year. Again, our hitting coach, is supposed to be pretty solid. So a lot of people feel like this guy does have some untapped potential, even though he is 28. They feel like that power is a plus, and it can take that next step. And if he can even take that next step and just hit 20 to 23 home runs, it does help offset the loss of Anthony Santander. And I believe the big reason why we made this trade is because Santander's not going to be back until very late in the season. And I kind of like this. I kind of like this when I look at it. It makes more sense, especially given that Sanchez can hit against righties. It gives us another good platoon option. You can never have too many of those. Now, last year, Joey Loperfido, you look at his OPS, you're like, oh my God. The Jays just traded away an 879 OPS who hit 333 and a 379 on base percentage. Well, his walk rate was garbage. It was like 7.8%. He didn't hit very good in the minor leagues, to be frank with you. He struck out 21.4% of the times, I believe, in the minor leagues in AAA. One problem that he does have is his average exit velocity, 87.3, with a hard hit rate of 37.1. Well below average. Those are things that you do need to look at. 26% strikeouts with just a 3.8 walk rate, I believe, in the major leagues. The reason why his stats were so inflated is because he had a 431 batting average. It's like your BABIP or whatever, right? Batting average on balls in play, which is certainly not sustainable whatsoever. Now, what did Jesus, our Lord and Savior Sanchez, do? Well, he hits extremely hard. Averaged a hardy 91.1 miles per hour off the bat. So that puts him, that's very good, obviously. 45.7% hard hit rate. So those numbers are way better than Loperfido's. Last year, his bat speed was 75.9 miles per hour, which is in the 93rd percentile. Most of the Blue Jays roster have great bat speed. Most of them are in the low to mid 70s, which obviously puts you in the top 8%, essentially. And we got a lot of bats that do that. So we do believe in this approach. I don't think he's going to be a great contact hitter. I mean, he only hits 239 for his career. We're mostly looking for the power. However, what does he do when it comes to hitting for batting average against righties? Against righties, a 253 batting average. Well, I'll take that. So, and the OPS plus 113. I mean, that's pretty damn. That's not bad there. So, good trade for the Jays. Of course, they had to pay a little bit of money, get rid of a guy that was likable, all that shit. But at the end of the day, I do not really see how you can piss and moan too much. This is why I encourage people that don't know shit about a player to actually go ahead and, MLB Trade Rumors put up a great article today. I read that because I was like, oh, we traded Joey Loperfido? Oh my God. Oh my God. And then I read and I was like, okay, we did better. We did better in this trade. Sage is pissed though. Sage is pissed. He was a big Loperfido nut hugger, as we all know. And he's going to miss Joey Loperfido. I believe Sage actually has subscribed to MLB TV to watch the Houston Astros play because he's that far in love with Loperfido's stroke there. But let's pivot off that. I just really, for me, do want to see if Jesus can take that next step, get to about 20 home runs. Just use them against righties, not lefties. Give us a little bit of power and, the 5-6 hole, that sort of spot there. That's all we're asking is just a bit of production. against right-handed bats. And I love platoons. I think platoons are the way to go. How are the platoons going to play out a little bit this year? It is going to be a little bit different because in the outfield you've got, Addison Barger, George Springer, Dalton Varsho, obviously Jesus Sanchez, Davis Schneider, and Miles Straw. So you got a lot of outfielders, to be honest with you. And I think even Akamoto can be used in the outfield as well. So you might see, obviously, Davis Schneider is going to be your favorite against left-handed pitching. Miles Straw is really just going to primarily work as a defensive replacement. I don't think he hits lefties very well, so I don't think he's adding anything to a platoon. But, potentially with like Nathan Lucas and that other fucker we just got, Jesus, you could see some interesting stuff. I don't know. Ernie Clement's probably not going to play a lot of outfield, same with Akamoto, but you can kind of do some interesting stuff because we are a pretty versatile team there. So I'm very interested to see what we do in terms of the platoons. And if there's one player that might be missing, right now it looks like our roster, from my standpoint, offensively would be 100% complete. And let me just tell you one thing. I said back at the start of the offseason, you can go through the goddamn tails of the tape. I said Loperfido would be traded, but I said I thought he'd be traded along with Nathan Lucas because I thought Kyle Tucker was coming to town. So I did call it, but the circumstances weren't 100% there. Now, there was a slew of moves made outside of the major leagues today. I'm just going to read through them. We're not going to go into depth about a whole lot of them. Before we get to the NHL fucking Major League Baseball, sorry, we do have more Toronto sports news. That being Chris Paul officially retired as a Toronto Raptor after 21 seasons in the NBA. Technically, he was a free agent because we canned his sorry ass and fired him and made him a free agent. During his career as a point guard, he averaged 16.8 points, 9.2 assists, and 4.4 rebounds. So he's definitely going to be going to the Hall of Fame. So congratulations on being, just add to that Raptors legacy there, Chris Paul. You also got Chris Taylor re-signing with the Angels. He is 35 years old, and he used to be one of my favorite little utility players. However, it looks like his career is done. Looks like it'll be a minor league deal. He's been hitting like a $186 and a .202 average the last 2 years. Need I say more? Chris Taylor, you had a good run. Thank you for your service, but you should probably retire now and not play anymore, in my opinion. Marlins signed a pitcher named John King. I do not know fuck all about John King. He was non-tendered by the St. Louis Cardinals in November after having a 4.66 ERA last year. He is a sinker baller who had a 3.47 ERA the previous 4 seasons. So looks like not a bad bet to take. It's only $1.5 million. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Who gives a shit? Now, kind of an interesting signing for the New York Yankees, I'll admit it. Signing Rafael Montero, formerly of the Houston Astros. I know he was pretty good for them in the playoffs one year there, I think when they won the World Series. Has a big arm, unless his arm has depleted. I like the signing. I just think minor league deals like that, they're never going to bite you. He can earn up to $1.85 million if he makes the team. Now, I think we already went over Paul Goldschmidt signing with the Yankees for 1 year, $4 million. Obviously, he's going to be used as a platoon with Ben Rice. We already went over the trade for Jesus Sanchez, so we're not going to go over that anymore. Reds making a minor league signing, Nathaniel Lowe. Kind of crazy how Nathaniel Lowe has gone in the last couple years. He used to be a solid little 260, 270 batter with good double power, okay home runs. his average has gone a little bit, but still last year he had 18 home runs and 84 RBIs. Um, his career is a 264 average and a 347 on base percentage. So I think last year is a bit of a down year, and the fact that Cincinnati is getting him on a minor league deal, you might see him actually play, first base with a bit of competition with Sal Stewart and Spencer Steer. But it's a lot of competition for him, so he might end up getting cut there. But Cincinnati is going to hit this year. That's all I know. They're going to be a fun team to watch. Looks like Shelby Miller was signed by the Chicago Cubs to a 2-year, $2.5 million deal. He's going to be out for pretty much all this season. Looks like he had Tommy John last October. He was effective as a reliever the last season that he pitched. 2.74 ERA in 46 innings. So kind of like what they did. I know the Jays did something similar with a pitcher there. I forget his name. And it's kind of good. Get a guy, keep him for 2 years. You're only getting one real year, and you might get some upside there. Rangers signed Jordan Montgomery to a 1-year, $1.25 million contract. Looks like he's estimated to return around the All-Star break. Would just be a back-end starter for him when he does return. The Brewers agreed to terms with Louis Rengifo. I think that's how he said it. Used to have this guy in fantasy. This was a good little utility player. Plays multiple positions as a switch hitter. Does have some speed. That's why I used to pick him up in the fantasy. Could hit for a little bit of average as well. Had a terrible year last year, 622 OPS, but does seem like a guy that bounced back and, not have a great OPS, but probably not going to be a fantasy player ever again either. But he should be able to carve out a pretty good year for the Brewers there, I would say. Royals made an interesting signing. Again, it's a 2-year minor league contract with John Means. Means tore his Achilles tendon in December. He's not going to pitch this year. So again, like these kind of signings, he's had a pretty good career. Throws pretty good, is a left-hander as well. So definitely do like the move there for the Royals. But again, not going to make any difference this year. And then finally, we've got the Diamondbacks signing one of the top pitchers of the offseason to a 1-year contract. Pending a physical, that being Zach Gallen going back to Arizona. No details on the signing when I posted this on my notepad. He's going to bounce back. He had a shit year last year. I think he'll be relevant where he comes back and he has, he has some fantasy success. I do think Zach Gallen will bounce back. Again, a very disappointing year last year for the little fucker there. Let's just see if there was anything missed. I do not believe that there was. Everyone praise Jesus Sanchez before we go. Tomorrow, regardless of whether or not there's sports talk, we will stream Dark Souls, and we're going to see if this game is as good as Sage says. I will give the game 1 hour and 55 minutes tomorrow, and if it seems like shit, I will do what I do best, and that is I will refund that fucking game live in front of Sage. I will share my Steam fucking screen, and Sage, you will watch me get that money back. So you better hope that this game is good, pal. Otherwise, it's going back to its rightful owners, okay? Do you understand me? But I will give the game a try. Hopefully, Sage, you're going to have to be on your A game, because if I'm playing this game and I start struggling, you better be there to help me quickly, or I'll just fucking rage quit and refund. You know what I mean? So I suck, so that makes sense. Okay, I'm going out of my way for the viewers of this program to do things I don't want to do. It's like I'm an OnlyFans fucking doing a lot of shit I don't want to do. And then I get disrespected on my own stream. Sage, I'll refund the game right now. If you don't fucking wash your mouth out with soap, I will fucking refund that game right now. I want you to go get some Palmolive right now. Put it into your hand and just fucking brush your teeth. That's all I need right now. Brush your teeth with Palmolive and we'll play Dark Souls tomorrow. Okay? Capiche kaput? You catching my drift, son? That's what you get for being a complete and utter moron. You know what I love about this? I can talk so much shit. No one necessarily gets to hear what Sage has as a rebuttal. He says fine, so he has given in, and he is going to brush his teeth with Palmolive and post it to the Thundercloud studio. All right, it's time. We'd like to welcome Jesus Sánchez to Toronto. Good riddance to Joey Loperfido. I already forgot your name, pal. Have a good night, guys. We'll be back at it tomorrow.